bring himself among us, that we might see a clearer revelation of who God is and what love is, even unto death on a cross. So that's a kind of love that has an adjective that goes with it. What's the adjective? Sacrificial. Sacrificial love. That passage of Philippians, I bet Barbara already knows this, is one of the first Christian hymns ever written. It's like when we pastors take hymns and put the lyrics into a sermon. That's what Paul's doing. He's taking a hymn that they were using to praise Christ, and he's working it into this letter to reinforce the idea of who Jesus is, human and divine. And he sends it to them to tell them what it is, what love looks like, Jesus style. And love Jesus style looks like sacrifice, right? It isn't that easy, ooey gooey, oh, I kind of feel like I like you thing. No. Sacrificial love. It's bigger than that. I've spent all week teaching. I've been in Springfield in a hotel, spending all week teaching 19 men and women who mostly later in life have felt a call to ministry. They have responded to that call by signing up for a 2-week course. It's like boot camp for pastors. They take 8 classes. Those classes are Bible, theology, pastoral care, spiritual formation, evangelism. Worship is what I teach, and the Book of Discipline, not to be missed. They have lives, they are out, they have jobs, and then they feel called by God to serve the church in this particular way, and they've come for this training, and it is hard, hard, hard. They're in class 8 hours a day. They have papers to write at night. It's really hard. One of the things that I've tried to express to them is that worship is evangelism. For John Wesley, worship was an entry point for people seeking God, right? So where is it that people went deeper in their spiritual faith? You all know the answer to this. Yeah, Wesley Covenant groups, right? Small groups. You do it all the time. Wesley Covenant groups the small group is the place where you go deeper in your faith. Worship is beginner class, right? Worship is where people who don't know much about Jesus can come in and experience the love of God, the praise of God's people. Worship is not the be-all and end-all of your spiritual journey. That happens in small groups. After all, the question that we're supposed to be asking ourselves and one another is, how is it with your soul? Ooh. How is it with your soul? That happens best in a small group, right? With people you trust and can share with them where you're struggling in your faith, the mistakes you're making, and the forgiveness that you need. Because the Christian journey isn't straightforward. It's a lot of ups and downs. So small groups are that place, but worship is the beginning place. In worship, we're supposed to be revealing the love of God for us that compels us to love our neighbor. So we aren't just supposed to be like-minded with each other. Our like-mindedness stems from having the mind of Christ, from sacrificing. So Jesus' style love looks like sacrifice. He humbled himself even unto death on a cross. And I would like to tell you, you're going to think this is how did you get there from that? I love our worship this summer. And it looks like Jesus' love to me. It looks like sacrificial love to me. It looks like risk-taking love to me. That you changed your worship this summer is huge. I'm excited by our worship summer, and I want to tell you something else. I think it's perfect. Why, Julia, do you think it's perfect? Because last week we didn't hold hands, and you didn't... there's 53 ways. I'm not quite clear about the order of things. You took your robe off in the middle of the sermon. That was not perfect. Why do you think our service this summer is perfect? Well, I'll tell you what. Look around. I want you to really look around, because you haven't seen this for a minute, right? When Frank came on a reconnaissance mission, he took pictures of your sanctuary. When you had 2 services, right? You had 90 people in each service. So I want you to think like a newcomer and a beginner, a new person to this space. This sanctuary holds 400 to 500 people. You walk in and you see 90 people, what are you going to get the message? Ooh, this isn't very likely. Something's wrong here. Am I right? So I hope that this summer you are enjoying the energy of being together with one another, of seeing this space filled as it should be and could be, right? I want you to take these impressions in and settle for nothing less. This worship space full of people praising God. So we are united, and we are like-minded, and we are worshiping together. That's a good practice every so often. We are embracing all the music. High five. We are embracing all the music. I want you to be clear, there is no one style of Christian music that is more spiritual or more right. The worship wars of the 1980s. You hear that number? This conversation we've been having about, oh, I can only listen to my kind of music in worship. I couldn't possibly listen to drums. I couldn't possibly sing a hymn. There's a war. You know what I'm saying? These worship wars have gone on too long. I'm over them. All of the music that you're hearing this summer is worthy to praise God. Now, you might not like it all. In a group of 150 or 180 people, do you think we all agree? All the time? On everything? Maybe not on music. But on putting each other first, on loving each other better, we can agree on that. To choose each other, we can do that. So yes, we do like some kinds of music better. Like if we have Southern gospel, I'm not going to be that happy about it. Just going to say, I love most music. I don't love Southern gospel. How many of you love Southern gospel? Yeah, some of you do, right? So it's not my favorite thing, but I like you, and I'm glad you're happy. More than our preference, we want a worship service that defers to our love for one another and our praise of Jesus Christ. This summer, you placed your personal preferences in the back seat and committed to stretch yourselves. You've chosen to love this congregation and its witness more than you love your own personal preferences. Good on you. Finally, we are experimenting and we are risking something. I will forever love the story of Rosie, who at the age of 90 heard that young people are attracted to a higher energy worship and that screens were important in taking worship to the next level. She would not let the trustees off the hook. She got herself onto the trustees so that she could have one conversation. If there are people who don't know Jesus, who might be moved by drums or screens, then that's what we've got to have. If there is one way for us to reach somebody for Jesus Christ, we're going to do that thing. That church now has screens. That church now has screens. Did you think she loved the old rugged cross best? For her whole life, yes. But what she loved more was participating in the great, big mission of reaching people for Jesus Christ. She understood that the love of Christ compelled her to make sacrifices. The bulletin cover says, your vibe attracts your tribe. Right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. It is my hope that our Christ-like love, that our love for one another, that what people see when they walk into this space is energy and hope and love because you are on mission, because you are like-minded about what we are doing here in this space, that when they come to this space, in being loved, they might fall in love with Jesus Christ our Lord. Will you pray with me? First silently. We pray, Lord God, that our vibe is love. Love for you above all else, love for each other, that's willing to sacrifice preferences and pleasures. Love that sacrifices abundance so that others may have enough. Love that embraces each person where they are on their journey. Love that understands that it is by God's grace that we are saved. We pray, Lord God, that our vibe will be love. We pray, Lord God, that you will bring people through these doors, hungry, searching, lonely, sad, scared, excited, that you would bring new people through our doors, people with whom we may meet on the journey of faith. We wouldn't imagine that that's going to happen quite by accident, but by the use of our own voice and our own invitations. That we would have the courage to invite people to join us in this place. We pray, Lord God, that you would humble us and help us to love you and others better. We join our voices now in the prayer that Jesus taught to his disciples. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, forever. Amen.
As forgiven and reconciled people, let us offer ourselves and our gifts to God.
You are the Word at the beginning, one with God, Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed name it is, the name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is, nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is, the name of Jesus. What a beautiful name it is, the name of Jesus. What a beautiful name it is,
So the two candles on the altar symbolize the humanity and divinity of Christ, which really goes well with today's scripture passage. Jesus not considering equality with God, I think you know that part, humbled himself even on death on a cross as a human being. So humanity and divinity of Jesus Christ. But this light from the altar is the light of the represents the light of the world going into the world. That's you. You need to be the light of the world into the world. I hope you have in your mind somebody you're going to invite to worship. Some person that you're going to share your joy in Jesus Christ with. Go from this place to love God more and your neighbor better. Go in peace.
Amen.